Hey guys, Levi here with Trident Fly Fishing, and today we're going to be tying a Mickey Fin. This is one of the most classic streamers out there, traditional hair wing. It was created by Charles Langevin. It's been around since I think the early 19th century. We'll get started with a Daiichi 2220 hook in the vise. This is a 4X long streamer hook. Works really well for this type of fly. So let's go ahead and get a thread base laid down. And for thread, we're using 140 denier Danville in color black. You do want to use black thread for this fly so that you can build the nice black head on here. So go ahead and wind your thread all along this nice long shanked hook, and you can cut the excess out of there. So first step, you just want to do everything as cleanly as possible with this fly because you're gonna have a tinsel underbody. Anytime you have a tinsel underbody, you just want to make the base as clean as possible so that you don't have anything looking all bulgy or gaps in your body or anything like that. So after the thread base, we're gonna move into some flat mylar tinsel. This is gold on one side, silver on the other, and it's size 12 by Danville. So when you tie this in, you want to tie it in about 70-75% of the way up the hook shank so that you can keep that underbody clean. And you also, as you can see, there's gold on one side, silver on the other. So you want to tie it with the gold side facing you so that whenever we wrap this, the silver side is on the outside. If you wanted a gold body, just do the opposite. So wind that back, and then we'll tie in some ribbing tinsel as well. And for that, we're using Unifrench in the size small, just an oval tinsel. So wind that back, and then advance your thread forward, and we'll get that oval tinsel tied in. Again, about 75% of the way up the hook shank. Just cleanly wrap this rearward. And all the materials that we're using today can be found at tridentflyfishing.com, and orders over $49 will ship for free. So it's an easy way to get everything you need should you want to stock the box with the Mickey Fin. It's a good fall pattern for trout. You can probably catch steelhead on it as well. Definitely a good fly for smallmouth bass as well. It's a multi-species pattern. So now that you have your tinsels tied in, let's go ahead and just get started with the flat tinsel. And we're just gonna get that out of the way. If you have one of those material clips, that's nice here, but just go right ahead and wrap this forward. Nice clean wraps side by side. You don't want the black thread showing through here. You want to make that underbody as clean as possible. The fish probably don't mind if it's a little messy, but it's nice to get those confidence points wherever you can gain them as a tyer. Clean body tends to aid in my fishing confidence. So get that nicely wrapped, and we'll bring it up to right behind the eye. We do need to tie in a wing and build a head, so be sure to leave yourself some space for that. Go ahead and tie this in now, and you can snip the excess. All right, so now that we have the flat tinsel, just go ahead and rib it with the oval tinsel. I like to rivet at a 45-degree angle coming forward. Just makes it look nice and clean. You can do it straight over the top if you like as well. And that'll add some durability to that flat mylar tinsel too. So just work your way up. Take one out of there and just secure that off. And if you guys have questions about the Mickey Fin, or a story that you caught a solid fish on a Mickey Fin, or anything like that, feel free to drop that in the comments. And if you really like what you see, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos that we have coming up in the future. So now that we have our body taken care of, I like to just throw a quick half hitch in there. just so that we don't lose any of that progress. If your thread loses tension or something, it's a real bear to work with. Whenever you have all that tinsel, you have to start from the top, and it's never fun. All right, so for the wing, we're gonna use 2 different colors of bucktail. We have a red bucktail and a yellow, a little more yellow on this slide than red, but you do throw some red in the middle there. And one thing to be aware of whenever you're mixing 2 separate colors of bucktail, you want to try to find 2 tails that have very similar qualities. As you can see, there's a nice bit of crinkle and wave in this red, and same goes for this yellow. So whenever you stack these together, it tends to naturally flow, whereas if you have one that's really straight and one that's really crinkly, they tend to not quite blend as well, and your fly just doesn't look as natural. So that's one thing to look at if you're in the shop grabbing some tails, or if you're looking to blend a couple bucktail colors together. Just be sure that they have as close to similar properties as possible. So once you have your tails picked out, we'll just go ahead and grab a bunch of hair. You don't need a whole lot. This is a size 4 hook, so you can get away with a nice pinch. It's probably, for the bottom, we're looking at something like maybe 15 to 20 fibers there. So go ahead and clip those. And it's very rare that you stack bucktail. This is actually one of the few flies where you can get away with doing some stacking just to even these tips up. What I'll do is grab the long ones and kind of just do it with my hands to begin, and then we can throw it in a hair stacker if we really want to tighten it up. But I'm actually okay with how this looks, so we won't even bother with the hair stacker for this fly. Free up any smaller fibers and clip this so you have a nice even, and we'll measure our wing. I like it to be about 20% of the fly extending off of the back. And you can tie it. There's no hard, fast rule for length there, but it just tends to be my preference. So go ahead and get that wrapped in a couple loose wraps, and you can adjust it from the top with your thumb if you need to. And we will go ahead and secure that first portion of the wing in. Clip any excess. Keep things clean. Moving into some red. Nice red line here. Good attractor color. And for this, we're going to use, again, probably 12 fibers or so. Maybe more like 15, 20. You can make the wing as bulky or as sparse as you like. There's no real hard, fast rule for that. So again, just even them out. Get rid of any shorts that are in there. Then we'll measure it against the yellow. You can even let the red extend slightly, add a little bit of tapering into it. So go ahead and get that. You cut it at a 45 to keep the head clean if you like, and just secure it down. A couple wraps, distribute it evenly up top. And good to go there. Actually, there we go. The final application of bucktail is right here. I'm gonna grab some yellow. Again, probably 15 or so fibers. And snip that. Even up the tips. And measure it. Looks good. I get a little shorter than the red. And again, cut that at a 45. Twist up your thread if you like. That usually adds a little more bite to it. And get that nice and situated on top. Do some final trimming if you need to. And we'll go ahead and wrap a nice clean head on there with your thread. You don't want any of those bucktail portions showing. And if you really want to add realism to this fly, that would be a good time to paint some eyes on there. You could use some stick-ons, but for this, I'm going to just keep it blind. It's effective either way. Okay, all right. So now that we have a nice clean head, just go ahead and hit it with a half hitch and then whip finish. Yeah, man. All right. So one final step to this fly is to get a little bit of, we're using a water-based head cement by Loon, but you can use a thin or thick UV resin, it works just fine as well. You want to get a nice glossy finish on the head here, and it will also aid in durability. So just coat that nicely. A rotary vise helps a lot with this process, just so you don't get any, you can see everything. And you'll see how that creates just a nice head there. As a Mickey fin, I want to thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.